Evan Nicholson with Green Thumb Organic Lawn Care here. We're at a potential customer's house we're just going to refer to as Mr. CB. Now we've already taken measurements and soil samples. Mr. CB is interested because he's got a couple neighbors here, one right next door and one at the entrance of the neighborhood. He says if we could get his lawn looking like that, he'd be a happy man. So I don't see any reasons why we can't do that. Minus one spot, but we're going to address that here in just a moment. So there's no fertilizer that's been applied in the last year. He's just getting ready to do some weed and feed, but he may hold off till we get it done, and he's going to let us know if he decides to do it himself. We just have a few different types of grasses growing here. You can see the fescue is pushed back from the road from the heat of the road, and Bermuda has moved in and filled in there, and he's going to let us know what his tolerance level is on that Bermuda. I think he might have said that he wanted to wait the first year and just see how it goes. If he just wants to work with it and seed through it. Let's see. And back here, we'll just have to see again what happens later in the year. Now this lime green grass you see here is Poa trivialis. That's a winter grass. It's a perennial, so we can't do that trick where we mow off the seeds and get them out of here. But sometimes this stuff can get real thick and push out the tall fescue, which is what we want. And the problem with that is this stuff goes dormant when it gets warm, so that could leave a hole. It may not do that. It may be thick enough here, but if it does do that, this fall we just want to come through here and seed extra heavy right here so that we crowd it out instead of it crowding the grass we want out. So that's how we handle that. And we will have a few holes, I can tell. But Bermuda may also be in there as well and may fill that void. We'll just have to see when the season changes. Some clover here. I've seen some chickweeds. I've seen a little bit of henbit. Very little violets out here on the side. And I don't think I've seen any in the front. Let's see, let's go ahead and just widen out here so we can see. We got some broadleaf plantain. A little bit of that I've seen. A couple dandelions. Excuse me, I've lost my thought there. And then back here close to the fence, we get a lot of violets. So we can handle this. This takes a special hot sauce to get rid of these, but we have proven that we can get rid of them in fairly short order. A little bit more of the Poa triv here. Now the problem area, the only problem area that I see that we won't be able to get to look like the neighbors is this area right here underneath this maple. This maple's got some really shallow roots, and you can almost just see the root zone of this tree. They're really close to the surface. They're competing for water. That appears to be the only problem currently that would be causing this to struggle right there so much. So we have some irrigation problems. This fence was put in after the irrigation, and right behind that flag is the irrigation head that's supposed to do this zone. So you've got a double whammy there, no water and the maple competing for the water that does come down with the rain. And we've even got a little bit of wash right here where it's just kind of been barren for years and it's just gradually washed. We would probably have to hand work in seed here because those divots are pretty deep. Okay, backyard. Still is more of the same. Violets, Poa triv, and fescue. Wild violets all along the bed here. This is going to be tomatoes here, so we're going to make sure to be extra cautious around it. A little bit of henbit there in that bed, and I'm sure it'll try to come out. Clover. At the back of the yard, or back of the lawn, where we're going to stop what we call the prime lawn, is going to be just right on this fence line. He does own the bank, but we're not going to go down there, just kind of the same way we do the neighbors. We're just going to draw a straight line here. Property line, if you were to stand at the street and look at this magnolia there, that's where he said the property line is, and it basically shoots straight through Whoops, there. Okay. So coming around the side here, I don't really see anything that's gonna cause us any major issues. And you see the Poa triv is a little thicker here. That may die back when it gets hot. It may leave a hole here. I don't see too much fescue in there. But if we get to treating soon, we might be able to basically encourage the fescue to start trying to turf and start filling some of these holes and try to keep up with this Bermuda that's inevitably coming. So I can actually already see some of the Bermuda blades turning green and coming up. Okay, and you just had an oak tree taken out right here, which I'm sure is why this area has struggled to keep fescue here and the Bermuda moved in, because this is probably a big limb over this, dropping acorns and leaf litter. As you get out into the front here, it's a pretty thick lawn. It's not in bad shape, other than just a few fairly easy to fix problems. This side is just the same. Is the other pushback from the road, heat. And the edge of the property line, we're gonna call it just right here beside the water meter. Straight back to that magnolia. Okay, that's pretty much the scope of this project. And I explained to the customer, you know, the way the seasons of grass work and how we would need to come through and seed whatever needs to be seeded in the fall after we've prepped the lawn with treatments and got the soil ready to just grow the best grass it can. So I don't see why there's any reason we can't get it looking like the neighbors. So Evan with Green Thumb, out.